You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And of course, we are pleased that you are with us here today. This is always a great joy for us. We gather together on this side of the veil, just as you gather together on your side of the veil, so that we may all work together to achieve the same ends. What is going on your planet right now is a very, very auspicious reshuffling of the deck, so to speak. What do you do when you shuffle a deck of cards? You mix everything up so it becomes less predictable. And if the deck is stacked or has been stacked by some nefarious person who has less than loving intentions, you eliminate that possibility. That is what's happening right now on your planet. The deck is being shuffled because it has been stacked against you. So this is how we want you to see the strange and confusing actions of political figures or international boundaries or banking institutions or secrets being revealed or old systems being challenged. These are all aspects of the deck being shuffled. Now, if you look at a deck that is stacked, it's all organized. The numbers and the suits and the cards are all where the person who stacked the deck wanted them to be. So that when the hand, let's say you're playing a game of poker, so when that hand is dealt, it seems as if that person got dealt a very, very good hand. There come their 4 aces. But the deck was stacked. And yet, if you are playing the game of poker with that person and you do not know that the person who stacked the deck and the seemingly innocent player are in cahoots together, you will think it's luck. You will think, my goodness, they got 4 aces dealt to them. What a great stroke of luck those beings had. This is what you think is happening on your planet. You are seeing people who are born rich, or you are seeing people who achieve notoriety, or you are seeing people in positions of power. And as the innocent co-player in that stacked poker hand, you are allowing those things to transpire in all innocence. There is nothing wrong with what you're doing because you are merely playing out the game as you have been taught it. And those beings who get the stacked hand, as opposed to those beings who get the unstacked hand, are playing by different rule books. And so this is why you look upon your world. This is why you look upon your politicians' decisions. This is why you look upon war and poverty and devastation and wealth and extreme diversity and think, what's going on here? This does not make sense. Surely, if our leaders cared about us and our ability to live on this planet, they would make different decisions. And you're right, but you are playing with a dealer who has stacked the deck. And the person who is receiving that stacked hand likes it. They like it. They get a lot of really cool things. They get a lot of really cool experiences. They get a lot of power. They get a lot of influence. And you can imagine the thrill of getting 4 aces dealt to you, knowing that everybody else is getting 2s and 6s and 4s and nothing that means anything. That is what's going on. So now the powers that be are under threat because the deck is being shuffled. We use this metaphor because you understand the idea of a stacked deck. You know that it is cheating. You know that the game is not fair. You know that someone's going to win, but they haven't played by the rules that you are playing by. And that is exactly what is going on your planet right now. So we want you to step back from fear of the deck being shuffled. We want you to step back from propaganda, your mainstream news channels. We want you to step back from fear. We want you to step back from your gullibility. Yes, you are all gullible because you've been trained into believing that certain things are what they are not. Does not mean you are stupid. It means you've been trained to interpret the system at play on your planet as a fair system. And as you go further and further into this system, you are all beginning to see that it's not fair and it's not sane and it's not bringing you a future that is livable and sustainable. And yet you keep voting, trying to make it better. And it is not better because the deck is stacked. So we want you to really grasp that this week. And the people who stack the deck are the people who are in charge of the propaganda. That's how you've been made to be gullible. So we really want you to not become fearful or isolationist, but we want you to really listen to what we're saying. You must begin to go inside, clarify your mind, listen to the quiet, still quiet voice inside, not the loud, fearful voice of the trained ego mind. And this is why these teachings came through this being several years ago. Many of you have gone through a process of transformation to enough of a degree, not totally, but to enough of a degree where you are able to master your minds a little bit, where you are able to discern, that's a feeling of fear. I'm doing that to avoid something. Let me make my choices based on positive emotion that is attractive to me in a peaceful and ongoing way. Remember, the ego is very volatile and reactive. What you may want one day, you won't want the other day. But Spirit's voice is slow and steady and says, come over here. This is what is in your destiny, in your future, and you can feel it. It always arises. Oh, I love flowers. I love nature. This doesn't change. My job changes and my financial situation changes. But this love I have or appreciation I have for this subject remains the same. That is your guidance system, inexorably calling you down that path towards that subject. So this is now a time in your world's history where it is so important for the training that you have undergone. And we know that there are some of you in this live streaming event that are relatively new. But there are hundreds of videos that this being has very, very diligently uploaded to YouTube, and all the information you need is in the YouTube videos and the books. For very little money, we'll say $100, if you buy all the books, you will have all the information you need. This does not need to cost you a lot of money, which is one of the judgments that some beings have. It does not cost you a lot of money to be able to access all of the information that we have been bringing through this being. Now is the time for you to dedicate yourself to your own guidance system and clarifying everything that is not in accord with peace and therefore is not in alignment with truth. You will be at peace if you are focusing on that which is in your best interest and in your blueprint. Each of you have a different blueprint, remember. Some of you have been designed to transform the medical system, and that is what's going to occupy your thoughts. You're going to be involved in the medical system, you're going to see where it's detrimental, and you may very well be one of those beings who is a catalyst for change in that environment. Somebody else may have absolutely no interest in the medical system and be an avid farmer and food grower. They may not want to change a system. They may be deeply immersed in growing things. That's all they care about. Now, the person in the medical field and the person who's obsessed with growing things, if they get into a conversation at a dinner party, let's say, they may find themselves disagreeing. They may find themselves valuing different things so tremendously that the person in the medical field, for example, may see them as ostriches hiding their head in the sand on their farm in the remote location that they're in planting sunflowers. They may say, this is not socially acceptable. We need a revolution here. But one being is guided by their blueprint, the other being is guided by their blueprint. And it is so important in these days now for you not to compare, for you not to say, well, I am an activist and you should be too. Here you are meditating all day, you're wasting time. We need people to stand on the front lines and fight. Some of you will be guided to be politically active, to transform systems. Some of you will be guided to meditate all the time. Some of you will be guided to grow food. Some of you will be guided to have a lot of children. Stay in your own lane. Do not judge what other people are doing. Go inside and say, what am I doing? What am I doing that is making me so angry? What am I doing that is making me depressed? What am I doing that can make me feel better? What can I do today to make myself feel better? Because according to these teachings, the better I feel in a calm and undrugged way means I'm more in alignment with my destiny. So let me know that if I'm happy sitting on a rock, contemplating the calm gray ocean as the drizzle falls from the sky, that is in my best interest because I'm enjoying it and it's peaceful and I am okay. We say these things because your world is going to get very tumultuous as the deck is shuffled more and more. As the stacked deck is being deconstructed, chaos is ensuing. A shuffled deck of cards is chaotic. It is not orchestrated. It is not organized. It is chaotic. And so you are going to see seemingly chaotic things playing out. One story from one side of the aisle, another story from the other side of the aisle, horrible secrets being revealed, lies being told, and cover-ups happening. You're going to see it all as this deck is shuffled because it's a global shuffle, because it has been a global stacked deck. Don't be deceived by party lines. Don't be deceived by political lines. Do not be deceived by national boundaries or borders. Do not be deceived by the stories that are coming to you through the system that stacked the deck. Go inside, align with your truth, stay calm, focus on your forgiveness practice, focus on loving yourself, and after you've loved yourself up a little bit, love other beings too. Remember, always start with yourself, for there is where you get your guidance. When you honor and love yourself, you become in alignment with the messaging system that has been designed specifically for you to take you on the path that you decided you wanted to go on this particular journey into physicality, this incarnation. It is unique. It is yours. Stay in your own lane. Don't compare. Don't argue. Use your energy for greater things. Use your energy for beautiful walks in nature with your pets. Use your energy for creativity, some art form, listening to music, dancing around your house, pottery, writing, whatever it is that draws you in. Begin to see that it is the most beneficent way for you to spend your time, because you're not being constantly taken out of that inner search. It is within you. What you don't want and what you do want is within you. What you don't want are your judgments, your fears, your limitations, your conditioned programs. The only way you're going to figure out what they are is to go inside and ask yourself, why did I get triggered? Why did what that person say to me upset me so much? Oh, she reminds me of my mother. It's nothing to do with her. It's me. These are very, very important times to glom on even more to these teachings, to your practice. It will serve you very well as the deck is shuffled. We will return shortly. Wow, okay.